Okay, so Zup. Zup. So I just had oral surgery today. Um it's all out and like cleared out my jaw and the infection. She scraped that jaw of infection. So I haven't been doing much today other than laying around and resting. But I was like looking at the comments and shit, right? On someone's channel. And this person on this channel is calling me a fraud and a phony because I like to do performance art on my channel. That doesn't necessarily make me a phony that I do performance art on my channel. It's a way how I express myself. And you'll know the difference when I'm being serious. I don't know. Can you tell the difference when I'm being serious and when I'm doing performance art? I don't know. I mean, I'm a YouTuber, so I do a lot of different things on my channel. Okay, I crochet on my channel. I game on my channel. I do mukbangs on my channel. I do performance art on my channel. And then there's the part of my channel where I rebuke people and I'm really freaking serious. Like you can tell I don't know. Do people get me? Like, do you not get the difference between when I'm being serious compared to when I'm being a performance artist? Because usually when I'm doing performance art, you're seeing props and shit. But at the same time, you know, there's certain my less talk series. That's me being serious. That's not performance art. That's me just, you know, flipping out my fans and, you know, sharing a little shade. And then there's other videos where it's pretty obvious I'm being goofy. I think it's pretty obvious I'm being goofy. But it's like people just don't fucking get me and they've never gotten me. And it's like, why don't you get me? Like, okay, I know I'm random. I do random videos whenever I feel like it, how I feel like it, how I want to express myself that day. But to call me a fake and a fraud because I do performance art, does that mean that everyone that does performance art is a phony and a fake and they can't be serious outside of their pieces, which is performance art? I mean, you can tell the difference. I just you are so good at performing that nobody realizes it's performance art. Well, thank you, Aries. Like seriously, I don't think I'm that good at it. I think it's pretty obvious when I'm like, you know, I'm usually saying I'm the Goblin Queen or something like that. I mean, to be fair, it's very hard for norms to understand the borderline. That is true. Only a borderline can understand truly what a borderline is. Like there, for instance, there was this one time where I was talking about unicorns and peanut butter, and it was a performance art. It was actually started by me and Jason. We were like talking about making a silly freaking video just really to like troll people. It wasn't really me that came up with the idea of the unicorns and peanut butter on the top of the head. It was actually Jason that came up with the idea of the unicorns and the peanut butter on the head. But it was so funny because I tried to make it obvious that it was a joke, and everyone took it seriously. And it's it's just like, come on, man. I'm just random. I'm sometimes I do performance art, sometimes I'm serious, sometimes I'm doing my crochet or gaming. Oh, by the way, I have a new series coming up soon that you'll be seeing in the crochet world for people, you know. I'm crocheting this beautiful. This is actually going to be a curtain, but I'm crocheting this right now, and it's with shell stitch. So I'm looking forward to putting that video out. So that's basically what I was doing today, is like working on my crochet and resting my mouth. But it's like, come on, dudes, get to know me a little bit, you know, get to understand me a little bit. You know, not everything I do is serious, but at the same time, not everything I do is fake, or I wouldn't even call it fake. Not everything I do is a performance art. Not everything I do is serious. You know, I'm just expressing myself the way I feel at the time to express myself. And I can't believe I have to explain myself over me expressing myself. It sucks, man. It sucks. And then you see all these other little comments trying to tell my husband who I am as a person. And it's like, he's been living with me until May. For how long now? We've been friends for 7 years. He gets me. You know, he's probably the only person in the world that actually gets me. And I like that he gets me. And it's so sweet, the videos he's making of me. But I'm okay. I'm not going to say anything else. But the things I will do to that man when I see him again. The things I will do to that man. Mm-mm-mm. 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 But see, he does this. He when he falls in love completely forever. Damn it. Anyway, this is about me, not us. But everyone loves a love story. So anyway, I just don't get why people don't get me. You know, and everyone thinks that I'm like on this like sinister scale, because I'm not out to get anyone in particular. I just speak how I feel. And when I see someone like for instance, my videos where I'm like rebuking someone or calling someone out, usually it's me trying to protect someone or protect myself. You should film your reunion, the PG parts of it. Man, we had plans to live stream a marriage ceremony in Vegas. Yeah, we wanted to get married by Elvis. But that would be so fun. But yeah, I don't know if we'll, you know, live stream the first initial reaction of when this court case is over. We're probably going to be macking. I'm not kidding you. We're probably going to be all over each other like horny ass teenagers. It's going to be wonderful. Because he needs to get laid. Bad. He looks like he's about to explode. That's hot. It is, but it's like, come on, guys, stop trying to put me as some kind of sinister person. It's stupid. I'm not out to get anyone. I don't want to go out and get anyone. I just speak my mind and express myself the way I choose during that day or multiple times during the day. Like that video I did where I was like wearing the money hat and the money boa, that was performance art. That was me just like, okay, the asshole wants to talk shit about me. Okay, I'm going to put on a show. So I'll put on a fabulous freaking show. And express myself that way. Does that make me a phony? No, it's how I choose to express myself. You just have to realize that when it comes to me, I wouldn't say I have multiple personalities, but I have different parts of my personality. Either one's, there's a different part of my personality where I'm goofy, and then there's a different personality when I'm freaking, and I wouldn't even say a different personality because it's not, it's me, it's just different parts of me, because with borderline, your emotions are extreme. You have heightened emotions. So I guess when I'm feeling really goofy and happy, I put on, I guess, what people would say a different persona compared to when I'm really pissed off persona. But all you're seeing is a flux of emotions, and I wouldn't say it's a different personality because it's really not. And then I have my characters, for instance, that I've made up, and I've been doing this since I was a little girl, okay? I've always been an actress and always wanted to be an actress. Just, But does that mean that everything of me is acting? No. Because I'll let you know if I'm being the Goblin Queen, or I'm being petty bitch, or, I'm being these little alter egos that I invented based on how I want to express myself. That's the performance artist. Like, and it's how it's to me, it's how I deal with my own emotions. Because when someone's being a nasty little psycho bitch to me, that's when I'm like, I turn on, I can't believe I'm saying this like a schizophrenic. I'm like, okay, fine. They're going to be a little asshole to me. Okay, I'm going to switch on to petty bitch. And, do a performance art of being petty bitch. Or, for instance, the reason why I do the Goblin Queen, it's usually to address the atheist community of them being, assholes toward me or toward someone else, I do it for the lulz. Maybe some people don't find it humorous. Oh, well, there's a lot of people who find the Goblin Queen hilarious. All hail the Goblin Queen. Hence Aries 106. He's in love with the Goblin Queen. There's Big Mama. I haven't done a Big Mama video in so long. But Big Mama is, another defensive mechanism type thing where, someone really pisses me off and I'm just going to get ghetto on you. I'm going to get all ghetto on you. And if you don't like to be fucking ghettoed, oh well, don't piss me off. And then there's Brettaline, the parody of Brett Kane. There's, God, what other characters? Oh, there's the Amazing Ex-Atheist, where I'm talking about how, in a grandeur way, Christianity is, like how the Amazing Atheist in the grandeur way made atheism. So, it's all reflections of who I am. And yes, it is performance art, but it's not that everything I do is performance art, because I'll let you know if I'm doing a character. I'll let you know if I'm being goofy by certain things, like if you, for instance, go to my my video where I'm dressed in money, the gold digger. I'm a gold digger. That was directly toward G-Man, the I'm a gold digger. And it was because he keeps saying like Shanny for money, Shanny for money, Shanny for money. And it's like, why? Honey, if I was after just money, I would have already had my pink Bugatti. And I do not have my pink Bugatti. Instead, I have a Tahoe. So I just wish and hope that one day Revelina will be resurrected. I don't know. Maybe me and Revelina, or Petty Bitch and Revelina, can like do makeup tutorials together. That would be hilarious. The things you do when you're sitting in your room bored and smoking pot. Oh yeah, there's my wakey bakies. That wasn't performance art. That was just me having a good old time smoking, having other people smoke with me, and just talking and waking up with marijuana. But I mean, I'm not a fake. I'm not a fraud. You meet me in person, I'm exactly what you'll see in front of you. The same attitude and everything. And even if you're with me in person, sometimes you'll see me like pop in and out of character just because I find it fun. I found it fun when I was little to do different types of accents, and I used to do them all the time. And sometimes I even tricked people by using the English accent I like using. And I did it because I find it fun. So I mean, I don't get why people can't understand that simple concept, that I just like being goofy sometimes. And then there's other times where I'm really serious. And then there's other times where I feel like I have to defend someone or defend myself, and those are all things that are all human. This is my channel. This is a reflection of who I am. And it's always usually the ones where I'm doing the performance art where I'm called, "You're crazy." And it's like, yeah, I am. Do you really want to see the crazy? Do you really want to see the crazy? I can show you crazy. That was acting. But I do it. I do it to cope a lot of the times. From the negativity that you really do get on YouTube, because you really do get a lot of negativity on YouTube, a lot. And it's sad. It's really sad that so many people will give you so much shit over you just expressing yourself. And I'm just going to go to, like, for instance, like people like Jacqueline Glenn. You met them over the internet, and for some reason, people from the internet think they have the right to control where you want to put your life. And that's something that That's the type of personality Jacqueline Glenn has. Is she wants to control other people's lives. She thinks just because you're in her life, she has the right to control your life, and it's not true. I mean, could you imagine you being locked into someone's fucking apartment because she said she locked the door? This is Jacqueline's words. She locked Eugenia in her apartment and shoved psychologists in her face. To me, if you lock me in a room that I am not wanting to, in a place, in an apartment that I want to, and then shove people that I don't want to talk to, that's kidnapping. That's kidnapping. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being in Eugenia's place? Okay. You're over someone's house that you thought was a friend. They lock all the doors and they force people on you that you're not ready to face. I was just trying to save her life. No, bitch, you were trying to control her. Okay, I'm sure there would have been other ways how she could have gotten help. And you know what? She only had to stay in that rehab for only 72 hours. She decided to stay in there for months because she wanted the help. It probably had nothing to do with Jacqueline, but I digress because I'm just using it as an example of how people from the internet think it's their right to control other people from the internet. If you meet them or not, it doesn't fucking matter. You're taking a human being and you're trying to control them to what you think you want their standard to be, when they may not be ready to change. And you know what? Who the fuck are you people to think that you can change someone in the first place? That is so abusive. So completely abusive to want to change someone. Okay? When they don't want to change. But good thing Eugenia did want a change. And she went through the program and she got through it, and kudos to her for that. But it really does show you how people are and how they want to control you. And I've always had a thing against people who are controlling. I've always hated control because I'm a free spirit and I'm not going out there to hurt anyone or do anything bad. I'm there to be free, to live free, to love who I choose to love, to be with who I choose to be with, and to do what I choose to do. And not everything I do is going to be bad. Hail to the Goblin Queen from the Mother of Dragons. Thank you, Christina, my Mother of Dragons. But it comes to the point with some people on the internet where it's extremely creepy how much they want to seep themselves in your life. And I understand the psychology behind it. You watch someone for a really long time and you think, it's like TV and you want to control the story. But the thing is, this is YouTube and you can't be controlling people's lives like that. You need to learn boundaries and step back and be like, whoa, I should not be controlling this person like this and stepping beyond my boundaries. And that's what Jacqueline Glenn did. She stepped beyond her boundaries as a friend and as a human being. You just don't do that to someone, period. And I don't care what your excuse is, but Eugenia was sick. No. Eugenia was calling her a bully. Eugenia wanted nothing to do with Jacqueline, and Jacqueline overstepped her boundaries. She overstepped her boundaries. Thank you, Aries. I salute you as well. But you people really need to learn their boundaries on other individuals over the internet. And not everything you see on the internet is true. Sometimes things can be altered. Sometimes, people can add old videos to new videos to make it seem like they said something that they didn't. People can cut videos up so they look like they said something that they didn't say. People can take your words out of context with videos. And it just goes on and on and on. And I think the moral of the story is don't take everything you see on the internet seriously. But there are some instances where there are people who are serious. So how do you distinguish? I guess it's up to interpretation. But at the same time, you need to know where your boundary is and know that controlling a person that you've never met before live is sick in the head. It really is. It's fucking disgusting to try to control someone you've never met. It's disgusting. I'm just glad Eugenia's doing better. Me too, Christina. Me too. I'm glad she's doing better, and I hope she doesn't let these hateful bastards who's trying to bully her and her mom put her down, because I don't see her mom what they're trying to put her as, and there's no, and saying that her mom has Munchausen's by proxy is it's diagnosing someone with a psychological illness that you can't even go improve. Okay. You can't even prove it by that evidence. Okay. First of all, she would have to, Eugenia's mother would have to have a full psychological evaluation for that to be evaluated. And Eugenia never said anything like that. She said there was bullies trying to tell her what she should do and everything. It just it pisses me off when it comes to Eugenia Cooney. It just pisses me off how people just take everything that Jacqueline Glenn says seriously. And I'm like, no. Like, I've known the girl for 13 years. I've seen her plagiarize people's stuff, like verbatim plagiarize their own videos. I've seen her tear Christians and atheists down alike. Matt Dillahunty doesn't even like Matt Dillahunty. He doesn't even like Jacqueline Glenn. I saw Jacqueline Glenn's own words. She even said she was deceiving Eugenia. She locked Eugenia in her house. And then her other friends like crying, I wish we didn't hurt her like this. Yeah, I bet you didn't, because you haven't seen anything. Yeah. She's still at downing God and being a bitch toward Christians. She's still at it, even though she's terrible at it because she fakes everything that comes to her mind. God, the plagiarizing. It's disgusting. Anyway, but no, she's honest about this. She tried to worm her way out of the plagiarize and say, I didn't plagiarize. I was inspired. Girl, when you speak in the same thing verbatim, you're plagiarizing. There ain't no inspiration. Oh, full of shit. I remember this one video, for instance, that Venom Phoenix. You remember Venom Phoenix? He made a video on Jacqueline Glenn trying to get her realize that Jesus Christ is Lord. And, he failed miserably. But it's like, at the same time, you could tell that he was like attracted to her. I don't know why. She looks like a heroin addict at this point, Shane's interview of Eugenia was just darling and beautiful and caring, and he helped guide her. But I'm really like, Eugenia just came out with a new video where she's like trying on Jeffree Star makeup, And she said some interesting things, actually. You know, her live stream on Twitch the other day, she was saying that most of the things you're hearing from these people are lies. But I think, in all honesty, Eugenia really needs to go and come out with a video and clear everything up. You know, all the misconceptions and everything, and tell people how her relationship with Jacqueline went down. Because there's no reason why that girl should have been locked up in Jacqueline's apartment like that and been thrown to psychologists. There's no reason. It was out of her place. It was not in her place. She should not have done it. And her mom calling her a bitch, yeah. You kidnapped my kid? You try to change my child? Yeah, I'm going to call you a bitch too. You know, I'll go straight up mama bear on you if you kidnap my child. That's my child. And there was this one part in Shane's documentary that everyone's like concerned about, but I think it's just like everyone likes to try to pick everything apart and just find any kind of anything. It was the door, and she missed a couple locks, but it's like that door had like 5 locks. You know, so I don't think she didn't know how to open the door. I just think she was like, okay, there's other locks here somewhere. I just think she wasn't really paying attention too much of where it was unlocked, because hello, she's like right in front of fucking Shane Dawson. Would you be able to think straight if you were in front of Shane Dawson and doing an interview? And here's the thing, it's an interview of something that's incredibly personal, incredibly embarrassing, incredibly embarrassing. Would you think straight? Girl, I would forget how to put on my bra if Shane Dawson was in front of me. You know, I would have, if Shane Dawson's in front of me, I would just be like, oh my God, I would freak out. I would freak out. And Shane Dawson, if you want to, you know, just let me know. I'd love to hang out with you and Ryland and Morgan and Garrett, because I love Garrett. And bring Trisha along, because I have some things I need to go and tell Trisha. But oh, and Jeffree Star, put me in touch with Jeffree Star, Shane, like pronto, because he makes me just a beautiful bitch, and I just want to just hug him, thank him, and say, "Oh, girl, you are fabulous, and I am perfectly comfortable at making you completely rich." Yeah, thank you, Christina. And the starvation for years hinders brain function too, slows her down some. Exactly. But but they are also saying that her mom enabled her with this eating disorder. How do you know that? How can you logically say that is fact? You can't say that fact. Yeah, she's super skinny. Yeah, it's obvious she had an eating disorder. But to say that her mom enabled her, especially knowing how her mom looked, I kind of doubt that. I think what happened is her mom was concerned. Her mom has been trying to get her help for years, like any other normal mother would. She was just waiting for Eugenia to be ready. Could you imagine being there? I mean, you got to go to every single mother out there. How many mothers out there are fighting their daughter over an eating disorder? You know, are they 50 and all their daughters who are having an eating disorder? No, they're there for their daughter. They're there for their or son, because men can have eating disorders too. You know, I just think it's unfair and not factual to go out and say that it's her mother's fault, because ultimately, if you think about it, it's not her mother's fault that Eugenia has an eating disorder. And I know this is going to sound mean. I know people aren't going to like this. Oh God, I have 5% on my computer. Come here. Where's... Okay, let me move my Mexican Cokes that just fell out. Yes, I have Mexican Coke. Don't hate me. Oh. Well, I'm going to have to go soon because my thing is downstairs. And I just busted my Mexican Cokes. No Mexican Cokes. You have to stay with me. I need you. Anyway, that's neither here or there. I guess I literally have 5% on my computer right now. But what I was trying to say is ultimately the person who's responsible for their own eating disorder is not her mother because she's 24 years old. It's herself. She's the reason she has an eating disorder. She's the reason why she's in this predicament she's in. And really, if you do have an eating disorder or you're fighting a mental illness or you're fighting alcoholism or any psychological disorder, it is your responsibility, your own personal responsibility to get the help that you need. And nobody else, and no one should be blamed for it. You know, like for instance, me, now in my life, I'm having trouble regulating my emotions. I'm having a lot of problems regulating my emotions. So what do? I'm having trouble regulating my emotions. I'm crying a lot. I'm not sleeping. I'm barely eating. I got to get something done. So I decided to go and get therapy. I decided to go to a therapist, and I have been going to my therapist, and tomorrow I'm going to go to DBT, dialectic behavior therapy, so I can get the help I need, because mental illness isn't you being a bad person or you being this way or this way. Mental illness is an illness. It's a sickness, and sometimes you need to get help for your sickness. Sometimes you need to get help for your illness. It's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. Me having borderline personality disorder, I'm going to have for the rest of my life. I'm going to have it for the rest of my life. It's never going to go away. All I can do is treat it through therapy. And I'm still working with my doctors over medication because none of the medication's working for me really good. Thank you, Christina. It's hard to deal with like BPD. A lot of girls with borderline are anorexic. It's self-harm that is more acceptable in our society. So exactly. And I am a self-harmer. I'm not proud of it, but I am a self-harmer. But it's something I have to deal with, and it's my responsibility to deal with. Compared to, like, it's especially for Eugenia, it's Eugenia's responsibility to take care of her mental health. She is an adult. You are responsible for your own person. It's not Eugenia's mother that has to be held responsible for the choices that Eugenia made. Okay. Eugenia has been an adult for what, 6 years? 6 years she's been an adult. Why are you blaming her mother when Eugenia's an adult for her own decisions? Because her mom's controlling her. You don't know that. You don't know that. You can't say that unless Eugenia says it. You can't say that. I mean, yeah, of course you can say it, but you can't say that it's facts. I'm seeing my doctor Friday to see how many labs are. I think pain is adding to my depression. Oh, Yeah, pain can add. I'm not looking forward to the winter because I know I'm going to be in so much pain in the winter because of the fibromyalgia. Like in the summertime, I I love the summertime because I barely have any pain. It's a really good time of year for me is, the summer. Especially here where I live because it's a very dry heat compared to a humid heat. Humid heat makes me hurt. Dry heat doesn't make me hurt. It just feels like I'm in a sauna. Um but I'm tired of seeing Eugenia's mom be railroaded for no other reason other than Jacqueline Glenn says that she called her a bitch. And yeah, you kidnap someone, you kidnap my child, I'm going to be calling you a bitch too. I think everyone feels that way. And yes, it is kidnap to lock someone in your house. It is kidnapping to lock someone in your house. I repeat, it is kidnapping when you lock someone in the house. And Jacqueline admits she did it. But you can't, you're more worried about Jacqueline's little, like, story, and there's always two sides of the story. But in this instance, there's three sides to the stories because there's Eugenia's, her mother's, and Jacqueline's. And I'm not buying what Jacqueline says because she says it, because I've seen the girl lie about people and plagiarize people before. I ain't believing shit for once she says. The only person I would believe of what's going down and what actually happened is Eugenia, because she is the one who went through all of it. All of it. Eugenia said she didn't talk to her for months. That's pretty fucking nutty of Jacqueline Glenn, okay? You don't talk to someone for months, so you go and kidnap someone into their house? I really wonder what actually went down, because I'm telling you, it don't add up. It don't add up. Man, I went in a tangent. I was talking about You Don't Get Me, but it's like, whatever. I don't like how people treat people with mental illness. I really don't. I wish the stigma would end. I hate the stigma. I really do. I hate the mental illness stigma. That if you have a mental illness, you're a bad person, or you're manipulative, or you do something wrong, or, if you have a mental illness, you're sick. It's like having cancer or any other illness. You're sick and you need help. But just like every other illness out there, it's your responsibility, your own personal responsibility to take care of yourself and no one else's. Like if you had a broken leg, what would you do? You go to the doctor. It is your responsibility to go to the doctor. What if you refuse to go to the doctor? You have a right to refuse treatment. That is part of law. That is a law. A law. You have the right to refuse treatment. And to have someone force treatment on you is against the law. And that's what Jacqueline Glenn did to Eugenia. She forced treatment on someone that did not want to be treated. The cops even said and laughed in Jacqueline's face that you're not supposed to force someone to be treated. It is against the law. You have every right to refuse treatment. Like you have every right to take treatment. And to force treatment onto someone who's not ready to take it is against the law, period. Period. Period, 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 period. So hate me for trying to go and think of the law and think of patients' rights before, what Jacqueline claimed happened. Because to me, what I saw was Jacqueline Glenn trying to cover her ass. And also wanting to get attention from Shane Dawson. Unless you are a ward of the state as an adult. Exactly, Christina. And Eugenia wasn't. And she's still not. Probably because they found that she can take care of herself. That she is an adult. And she does do adult things. Just because you don't see it on camera doesn't make it seem that it doesn't happen. And just because you see her being annoyed by her mother doesn't mean that her mother is being abusive toward her, because we all get annoyed by our mothers. Trust me. And if you don't get annoyed by your mother, you're a fucking liar. You're a liar. So, and yes, you're going to see some kind of a controlling dynamic between a mother and a child, because a mother never stops her job unless she's a crappy mother. What's up, Jay Sweezy? I miss Gorilla Glue, man. I miss my Wakey Bakey so much, dude. So much. They're going to come back. They're going to come back. Sooner or later, they're going to come back. You know, I already got CPS off my ass, so they're no longer involved in this thing. All I have to do is get this court case done, and then I'll be going back to the Wakey Bakeys, except it'll be in the back seat of my car, which is fine because I got a huge Tahoe. But Eugenia was an award to the state. She had no right to force treatment on her. No right. But my computer's about to die. I have 2%. My mother's having memory issues, but she's 82 and set in her ways. Yeah, that's sad, Christina. I'm sorry about that. It sucks seeing that happen to your parent. But anyway, I'm going to have to get going. My computer's about to die. Because my plug is downstairs and I almost destroyed my Mexican Cokes. Like, that would be tragic. Destroying a Mexican Coke. They're the greatest Coca-Colas ever. I repeat, these are the greatest Coca-Colas you will ever drink. So try to find the Mexican Coke. Anyway, peace and Maranatha, people. I may come online and do some gaming. I'm bored. Anyway, love you guys. Ta-ta.